Good morning, children. Welcome to the third online edu class session of class 8, chapter 2, Microorganisms Friend and Foe. Today we are going to discuss protozoa. Protozoa is a word which is made up of two words, means proto and zoa. Zoa is a word which came from zoo, as if animals which are kept in zoo. So zoo means something which is related to animals, and proto means proto word came from primitive. The organism which is of very primitive type is known as protozoon. Here you can see few of the images which are of protozoons. So we are now going to discuss protozoa, which means having a very simple structure. So, as I just told that protozoa have a very basic structure. So, protozoa are one-celled, free-living, microscopic, unicellular animals found worldwide, and in our surroundings also they are very common. Most of them are highly infectious in nature. They can cause a mild illness to a life-threatening diseases like malaria, a difficult sort of malaria, and very mild cold and flu. Okay, so they are very infectious and they cause diseases. You have studied about amoeba in class 7 in the chapter of nutrition, how they derive nutrition. See, I have shown you a right side bottom how they move continuously. They extend their pseudopodia to move, and that pseudopodia also act as a temporary mouth for eating and or taking food inside the body of amoeba, and they turn it into vacuoles, and those vacuoles are then used up to digest the food, and as soon as the food is digested it again come towards the margin of the body and attaches to the margin of the body, and there it expels out the undigested and the excretory matter. Here I am showing you few diseases which are caused by protozoa, in which you are very familiar with amoebiasis, dysentery, a type of loose motion, malaria you are very familiar with. Okay, so protozoa causes so many different types of diseases. These are only few of them. Then how they reproduce, they are just having a asexual mode of reproduction which is called binary fission. Binary fission means they break into two. Bi means two and fission means break up. So when the organism breaks into two, it is known as binary fission. So the parent itself divides into two parts and separates. After division there is no parent, only two daughter cells are there which are divided from the parent. I am now showing you the division occurring in Paramecium. Here, see, the adult Paramecium I am going to show. The first step, here this is the first step. Secondly, they have division of the micronucleus. Third, division of macronucleus and separation of cells. The cells completely separate into two. So binary means dividing into two. Okay, binary fission is only mode of reproduction in protozoa. This occurs in amoeba, this occurs in Paramecium, this occurs in all types of protozoa. See, now here I am showing you one image of amoeba. It is a very basic morphology, basic structure of amoeba. A nucleus is visible. See, here you can find nucleus. This is the vacuole. Here completely cytoplasm is filled. The layer which is which is forming the margin is known as cell membrane. These are the food vacuoles. Here, see, this you can find here pseudopodia also. Here you can find pseudopodia, which shows that it is going to move towards right side. Pseudopodia is not there on the left side, it is towards the right side. That means amoeba will move towards right side. Now moving on, see here Paramecium is shown. Paramecium is having a little better structural characteristics than amoeba. It is having a contractile vacuole of star shape. See over here, this is the contractile vacuole of Paramecium. Paramecium is having cilia. It is not having any type of pseudopodia. Cilia helps the Paramecium to move. There is a macronucleus, there is a micronucleus, and blue portion is the cytoplasm. Yeah, here how Paramecium eats, I am telling here. See, these yellow particles are the food particles which are entering through the, this is the buccal overture, means the mouth of Paramecium. It is entering into this part and forming food vacuoles over here. As soon as the food vacuole is formed, it is converting into a sphere like this, and when it converts into a sphere, it starts to digest. When it starts to digest and digestion is complete, it will attach to the cell membrane over here, and as soon as it will attach to the cell membrane, the whole of the excretory product will come out through this anal pore. So all these structures are there in the Paramecium, but it is not present in amoeba. Now coming towards the next category, that is algae. Algae, you can find algae everywhere. It is so beautifully green in color. You can find it. See, these are the strips I have shown you here. This is such a beautiful algae which is called Spirogyra. We are going to discuss it right now, but this one is the dirtier one, means this is due to accumulation of stagnant water. Algae has survived over here, but still it may be dirty or beautiful, but it is very good for the environment. Why? Because it conducts photosynthesis. When the algae is conducting photosynthesis, it is purifying the atmosphere, it is purifying the air. And let me tell you, at this point only, the researchers are very hopeful for finding some better in algae like biodiesel or vegetable oils, etc. Yeah. Now see, they are of so many different varieties. There are almost 400 species of free floating algae. They are very slimy and soft to touch. They are very slippery in nature. So they have a spiral chloroplast in them. They have filamentous structure. Okay, they are unbranched in nature. The cells are cylindrical. Okay, after that they form a mass, that is a type of thick mass over the surface due to the formation of oxygen bubbles, continuous evolution of oxygen due to photosynthesis. Yes, that's why they just float over the surface until and unless they are attached to the base. Okay, so now you know the basics about the Spirogyra. Coming to the structure of Spirogyra, the Spirogyra is having a filamentous structure, flat cells. Along with the flat structure, you can find there are three layers of support. First of all, cell wall, which is the hardest of all these three, which is providing the rectangular shape, and the outermost layer is the mucilage layer, which is providing the slimy, slippery touch to Spirogyra. Inside the cell wall is the cell membrane, which is holding all the internal organelle parts together. And cytoplasm you can find in the form of these strands. These are called cytoplasmic strands. The white portion you can see in between, these are the vacuoles inside the Spirogyra cell. This is nucleus, central nucleus in between the strands of chloroplast. Here you can see these are the beautiful filamentous strands of chloroplast where the photosynthesis takes place, and due to this the continuous evolution of oxygen is there, and continuous evolution of oxygen makes it possible to float for Spirogyra. Yes, the Spirogyra can float on water because of continuous evolution of oxygen, as I have just discussed, and they are surviving over the surface until and unless it is attached to the base of the water body. Now, coming towards the importance of algae in our daily life, first of all, it can create a biofuel. Yes, the scientists are continuously working on it. Second thing, it can use the land which will go waste, because it can be grown on wasteland to make continue the fertility of that land. Otherwise, if we leave a land for a longer period of time without cultivation, it can go barren. Okay. Thirdly, it can be used for animal feed. It can function as energy source. It can be used to create vegetable oil. Yes, all these are the uses of algae. And one very important use is the green plastics. Scientists are continuously trying to make bio-friendly green plastics, and they have a promising results also out of it. Next, it can be a very good food supplement. It can act as fertilizers also. And finally, if we put them into the wastewater treatment plant, it can convert the biological waste into fertilizers as well. Yes, the algae can convert the waste products coming out of the wastewater treatment plant into a fertile fertilizer to increase the fertility of a land. Now let's enter into the category of viruses. And as you know, viruses are so dangerous. We are now also suffering from the same problem. Viruses are highly infectious. They are very simple in composition, but they infect all sorts of living cells, plants, or bacteria also. Actually, the name of virus is itself explanatory, that it means poison or a thick, slimy, dirty liquid. So, poison will always harm. Poison means anything which is harmful to us. Okay, so virus is something which is very harmful for the life forms. And now it can be identified on the basis of host they infect. If it will be infecting a bacteria, it can be called bacteriophage, that you can see in your textbook also, and I am going to show this diagram in the future lesson. Now, virtually all plant viruses are transmitted by insects or the organisms they feed upon. Okay, so the plant viruses are transmitted by the insects, and insects act as a carrier. In our house also, we used to see the house fly and ticks, small insects, mosquitoes. They all are carriers. Yes, the host of animal viruses varies from protozoans to humans. It can harm any organism. All the four previous category it can harm. Now, certain viruses are causing serious diseases of animals and humans. They are carried by insects, like dengue. Dengue is carried by mosquito. Yes, female Aedes mosquito act as carrier for dengue virus. Then here you can see the image of a bacteriophage. This is a virus which eats up the bacteria. That's why it is known as bacteriophage. It has a head. Here you can see this is the head of virus. This is called the neck of the virus. Below the neck is the collar. This pipe portion is the tail or the sheet. Here you can see these are the tail fibers and the base plate. And inside this head you can find the genetic material. Here it is written DNA. Yeah, DNA or RNA, that you will be studying in this session itself in some other lessons. So this is the morphology of virus, with very simple, but yet yeah, it is having a very infectious body. See, Viral infections are caused in all the parts of our body from head up to the final extremities. Meningitis you studied in last year, class 7th. Eye infections are so common. Common cold, pneumonia, pancreas diseases, stomach diseases, liver diseases, hepatitis. You studied that also in your class 7. Skin infections over the bodies, and so many or many more different types of infections are there. Here only a very small number of infections I have mentioned. These are only the numbers, and the number of infections actually prevailing around us are enormous, which are caused by the viruses. But still, yes, viruses can be useful also. They are used for the development of vaccines. Edward Jenner used smallpox virus for development of a smallpox vaccine. Polio vaccine, दो बूंद जिंदगी की, we have got below 5 years of age. Yes, the viruses are used for the development of vaccines, and they are also used in weapons and biological warfare. Viruses provide the advantage of being simplest system for understanding the making or the structure of cells and their functions. Okay, so viruses have a very simple structure so that we can understand how the cells must be functioning, how the cells are performing all their life processes. So children, I am concluding my lesson here with giving you homework for going through all the categories of microorganisms. In the next video, I will discuss friendly microorganisms, harmful microorganisms, vaccines, antibiotics, and other parts of the lesson. Till then, bye bye, take care, and have a nice time.